Page 40, Make You Feel My Love. Sounds like a love song, I guess. 4/4 time, no sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the scale for C major, and you also ought to do the scale for A minor. And by the time you've done this, hopefully you've done these scales enough now, you should be going at least 2 octaves up and down. I have videos on the scales. Go do that. Do the beginning and intermediate levels on that. When I learn a new piece, I want to do it one hand at a time, and that's what I'm recommending you do. Just work it out one hand at a time if you can figure out which notes which hand is playing, because at the beginning it's a little interesting. For instance, you're playing the whole note, but you're also playing the C here in the right hand, and the left hand's covering all the other stuff. But to try and make this video a little shorter, I'm going to talk about both hands at the same time. So at the beginning, you have treble clef in the right hand or left hand here. So it's here, 1 and 2 and. So I'm holding these down, but none of these. And when I play this note, I lift that note up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Up in here, you can use second finger here. I'll leave that up to you, but I like second finger on the last note. And I do a thumb here. What they want you to do is go from here to here. There's times we have to do that kind of thing, and this is a slow piece. You can get away with that if you'd like. I just don't like doing it. So I'm going to do a here, here, and immediately after I play it, I'm going to put third finger on it. I'm going to substitute. I could do second finger, doesn't matter, whichever, I don't care. But I just use second finger here, so I'm third finger on it. And that way I can go on. So measure 5 here. Don't hold any of this down. This is held down. Here. When I play the G again, it's by itself. And I recommend 4th finger on the C because we have D coming up. And I'd like to connect it. And measure 7. Then at 1/4 here because I have an E coming up. I'm preparing it. Down 1 and just cross over. Measure 11, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Make sure you hold that note down. I do a 2/4 on measure 14. I'm going to do a 2/4. I could do a 3/2, either one. I want to connect them, is the reason. I mean, I know the pedal's down and it would connect it. The point is I don't care. I'm not going to rely on the pedal. I want the hands to connect it if I can, so this is what I do. Let's measure 14 and 15. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's right before beat 4. And then on next measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and. And you do all that again. This before, the same thing. Now, on measure 24 here, I'm recommending you do for the 8th notes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Save the thumb for here, so I can connect it all. Here. So measure 24 again as you're here, and left toe. On measure 30, use the fourth finger on the A, and you're closer to where you want to be. So I can connect it with the hands. I think the rest of this is pretty similar to what you've had. At the bottom of the page, on page 42, the left hand gets treble clef again for the last couple measures. That's a G and an F natural. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then, like so. So you work it out, the hands, get rid of the hesitation, so it's a nice, steady, slow beat. And then as far as articulation goes, you're just connecting everything as best you can. After you get to know it and get into the music, if you want to add a little accent here and there, or maybe a staccato here and there, that's up to you. But right now, just play it the way it's written. Dynamics go to the melody. At the beginning, see this first couple lines or so, or 3 lines, up to the double bars there at the third line down, that's all introduction. So you can play both hands pretty much the same here, I think. And then moderately soft on that, and you go up a little bit, then come back down. Up to about a moderately loud. Then back to moderately soft. Now the moderately soft applies to the melody. Everything else has to be under it, background. The melody are those notes with words, and it could be in either hand. But when it goes from hand to hand, it needs to sound like one hand played it all. So here at this measure 9, soft and moderately soft. And like a measure 15, can you bring out the melody note? The 8th note's measure 16 or soft. You can crescendo up a little bit because you're going to go up to moderately loud here. This is moderately soft. This is moderately loud. And you can do the dynamics. When you get to measure 25, now you're going to go up again, this time to loud. So you go moderately soft, go up to moderately loud, moderately loud. Now this is loud. So that F applies to the melody. So soft. Remember that it applies to the melody. So if the melody is going to be soft, then whatever that is, where the P is, has to be under it slightly. So you have to adjust exactly which hand is playing how loud based on the dynamics. Now measure 28, you're going to go back up to loud. So this is soft, moderately loud, and loud. Then go down, soft, and moderately soft. So forth, and then at the end, bottom measure 40, you're still soft. Demi-rit, diminuendo and ritardando. So get softer, go down to very soft at the end. Don't get very soft until the end, and you'll slow down. This is soft, very soft. So when I play this, I can still hear that. Yeah. Speed, as far as that goes, is very slow. If you're going to sing it, how fast would you sing? You can probably get recordings of this, I'm sure. This is a slow love type song, I reckon. We want lots of overtones, lots of sound here, but it's got to be soft sound for the most part. They've got overlapping pedal throughout, and I think a lot of that is just to make it simple for you. But I want you to listen very carefully to the sound the pedal is doing, and we got to make some adjustments here. So it's going to be overlapping, so I'm going to put the notes down first and then the pedal. Change it after I play the notes. So there's always sound. And now measure 4, lift it up, like taking a breath, and don't pedal the 8th notes. Don't pedal. No. So measure 4's lift up. And you can pedal that. I think that's too much. I think if I'm going to do that, I'm going to pedal every 2 beats. And I'll measure 10, and every other measure like it. I'm not pedaling the 4th beat. I'm going to connect it with the hands. I just don't want. I want the sound cleaned out. Don't pedal. Lift the pedal. So, and that's how I'm recommending all the way through here. I'll measure 10, don't pedal the 4th. I'll measure 12, don't pedal the 4th. I'll measure 14, don't pedal the 4th. And it keeps going. Like I'll measure 18, don't pedal the 4th. Lift up. When you get that one note by itself like that in the left hand, don't pedal it. Don't pedal. And you don't need to pedal measure 24 either. You can if you want, but lift it up. You don't need to pedal those 8th notes here, so it's clean. And then here, now melody, see where the words are? Here. That's what we want to hear here. Here, huh? No, okay. So bring that out, and I would change the pedal, I think. Here on yet. Here. Change. And you don't need to pedal the 4th beat. So starting measure 25. Actually, you only need to pedal like the 1st beat on that measure, not any. Like so is what I'm recommending. Then finally on measure 28, they tell you not to pedal this. I mean, there's 2 notes instead of 1, but in my mind, it's still you don't pedal it. Connect it with the hands. Lift up. Measure 32, pedal it like you did measure 28. Lift up. Lift up. Lift up the pedal, not the hand. Now on measure 35. I don't want all that, so I'm only going to pedal the first couple of beats or so. And I'm not pedaling, actually I'm not pedaling measure 36 at all. So in measure 35, as it says, it's just the first couple of beats. Measure 40, I'd lift up. And I think on measure 41, maybe you can experiment. Maybe you can pedal that. Change it here. Just to connect this, because you're slowing way down, and I like to connect those. I need the pedal for that. Here, and then at the end, the pedal and the hands come up together. It's my impression of the pedal. You have to listen to the sound. Don't let it get too smeary. Ugh. Now we have a page turn in this. They've got to deal with the page turn. You can't mess up the beat. Both hands are busy. What do? Well, there's a couple of things we can try. At the bottom of page 41, it's measure 27 here, last measure. You can, if you want, just change the fingering a little bit. As you have to, we're going to play that A in the right hand. That frees up the left hand so you can go ahead and turn the page. So it's here. You just play the whole thing and hold it down. Here. That way, once the left hand has played that, it's free to do that, to turn the page. And then you can go on that way. That works if you can do it quickly. Do that a lot. I have one hand help the other out to free it so it can do other things if need be or whatever. That's fine. As far as the speed goes, it's very slowly. Just relax and stay. My tendency is to speed it up. No, you don't want to do that. So just keep thinking eighth note. 1 and 2 and nice leisurely eighth note pace. Don't hurry this at all. You have to be careful with piano arrangements. This is not a piano piece, it's an arrangement for it. And sometimes the voicing doesn't work on piano. Let's take a look at measure 31. You have a whole note in the left hand. In theory, you hold that down the full 4 counts. You can't because of the arrangement, but you try. In the right hand, you're here 1 and 2. That's because the right hand needs that note that's in the chord. It's the same note. So you simply get off that note so the right hand can have it. Just get off a little early. Here. You run across that sometimes, and I don't always point them out, but know it's there. I mean, you'd discover it You'd discover it if you actually hold the thing down. If you're relying on the pedal to do it, it doesn't matter. You'd never know it was there. But that I discourage that. Hold this down with the fingers, even though the piano is doing it. I mean, when I play it really slowly, it's too blurry. I have to change the pedal anyway. So I just get off it on the last beat. You can get off that one or get off the whole thing on the last beat. That way, the right hand can have the note. I'll go ahead and do a play with me on this very slowly, just to check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. I'll pedal it as I think it should be pedaled. I can't do the page turn, so I'm going to do pages 40 and 41, then I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn the page, and I'll count in again, 4 more counts, and then we'll do page 42. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Two and. And four and one and. Three and. One and two and. Two and. Stop and turn the page. 1, 2, ready, go. 2. And 2 and. And 2 and 3 and 4 and hold 2 off.